Noel was passionate in her attachments to Keith, Susan, and pleasure. She would joyously lick kisses on Keith's face and excitedly race to the door when he signaled that they were about to go for their morning walk when, quote, Uncle David would arrive to accompany them. Once when we were in the car and Keith left briefly to perform an errand, I could not calm her until he returned. Although she was generally focused on her own needs, when we walked, she seemed careful to remain by my side and not get in my way. She was deeply loved by Keith and Susan. Watching them as a family, I would often say that I thought she was one of the happiest creatures on earth.
There's obviously so much I can say about Noel, but there's a couple of specific things that come to mind when I think of her. One, of course, is the infamous day that we got her. She was the only puppy out of the group of Christmas puppies that was not picked out yet. And the words that would go down in history from me were puppy, puppy, puppy. And I wanted her so bad that you guys didn't really want her because my enthusiasm was toxic. But we got her because I think that we all saw that there was some, if not off, then special about her. Those couple days I was back from college and having her around was such a treat. And getting to feel like a slice of being home with like this new creature was so fun in a time where life was really uncertain. And the other memories that I have is of course the day that we discovered that she was doing that, her sucking on her leg constantly, like it was some like rotisserie chicken or something. And most of all, what a delightful asshole she was. She was a little shit. She was self-centered. And she was like the cutest, most athletic, really good dog. She was a really good dog. I think it's no secret that she filled the dog void in our household after Zoe, but also she always kind of filled the dog void for me with Zoe, because Zoe was the prodigal, how do you say that, daughter that you guys always wanted, and Noelle was more at my level, and I loved that about her. I loved her quirks, and she was just a fucking good dog, and she's gonna be really missed, and the love that you shared with her was contagious, and we saw it every time we visited.
So Noelle and I always had, we had a secret loving relationship. It would usually start with me sneaking her a biscuit, not just a half one, but I'd go for the full Monty with that. And I would always sneak her at least a little bite of whatever it was we were eating. Probably wasn't supposed to do that, but it's okay. I think it made her love me a little better for it. Yeah, she was well loved, and definitely leaves a vacancy in everyone that knew her.
The memory that I have of Noelle is about maybe five or 6 years ago at Thanksgiving. We all went for a family walk in the woods in Burlington, with the family sort of split into two different groups. And I was with Uncle Keith and Ellen and Becca, I think, and Noelle originally, who was off leash and basically just tearing through the trails, and just having the absolute time of her life, just having zoomies in the woods. And at a certain point, we realized we hadn't seen her for a while, or Uncle Keith realized we hadn't seen her for a while, and got very worried. And somebody in the group suggested, well, maybe she just joined the other. That's Asher. Maybe she just joined the other group of the family. And Uncle Keith said, well, she wouldn't do that. We looked for a while, and eventually it turned out that she had joined the other group. She didn't really care who she was with as long as she was with someone. And it was just funny sort of learning that that was her personality.
Hi guys, I'm just sitting here with Willa, who never met Noel, but if she did, they would have been best buddies. My heart just aches for your loss, and I can't even imagine how you must feel, but just know that I'm thinking of you, and I'll always remember Noel chasing the ball at the pool parties, walking by the spot and giving me loves, and just being such a wonderful soul at your house every time I would go over. I know this is so hard and sudden, and I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you, and my heart aches for you, and me and Willie say a little prayer for her every night, and I just wanted to send you my love.
Hi Keith and Susan, it's Nancy. I'd like to share 2 stories about Noel. One was a number of years ago when Noel came to our house, and Warren and Sharon were also here. And we were all sitting in our living room, and Noel was so excited to be here that she would jump on the couch next to Warren, off the back of the couch, come back up from the back of the couch, snuggle in next to him, jump down, and repeat over and over and over again. Warren, of course, likes dogs as well, so I don't think he was flustered by it, but it just cracked me up that she was so excited to be able to do that. My second story about Noel is when we come to your house, and I love how Noel greets at the door with just such enthusiasm. And one of my favorite times is when we were sitting on your couch, and she would come up, turn around, do a quick turn around, and flop down and stay for a few minutes, and then get down, and then kind of come back up and do this like amazing sort of like twirl in the air flip so she could sit right down next to you on the couch. So those are my stories about the wonderful Noel.
Hi Keith and Susan. I just wanted to let you know how sorry I am that you lost Noel. She was a really special dog and quite a character. So I'd like to share a few memories. One is she knew how much she was loved, and she would totally lick Keith's face, and he would love it. And I remember Mom being really kind of grossed out and disapproving, but he did it anyway, of course. And I would say to her, "You're not Zoe, but I still love you." She was a very different personality than Zoe. I remember Keith throwing sticks into Lake Champlain and Noel going out and grabbing them with such gusto. And I remember going cross-country skiing at the golf course in the winter, and Noel digging up and eating all this goose poop, and then getting back to the house and her barfing the goose poop all over the place. And Susan had to call the manufacturer of their beautiful couch to find out what to do. But we did get it cleaned up. And I loved when she did this. It reminded me of the character of Jim Carrey on Fire Marshal Bill, which was on In Living Color, a show that was on a long time ago. And finally, I remember Penny remarking that Noel was not a Jewish name, and Keith countered, well, her middle name is Shabbat. So Noel, you will be missed, but you will be still in everybody's memory. I love you. I also wanted to tell a story that's kind of in bad taste, but it's true. So on Sunday, I called both Melanie and Lila to tell them about the loss of Noel. But I've had a problem getting mixed up with Nicole, and sometimes I inadvertently called Noel Nicole. so I was telling Lila the story about how they were hiking and, and that she died, and they decided to bury her on the mountain, and said Kaddish and all of that. And Lila just kept going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I said, well, they are going to get another dog. And she said, another dog? And then she said, I thought you were talking about Nicole. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I meant Noel. But I said, why would Nicole be hiking with Uncle Keith and Susan? And why would they bury Nicole on a mountain? And it wasn't until I said that they were going to get another dog that Lila finally realized it was Noel and not Nicole. And I in no way mean to detract from the loss of Noel, which I know was really huge.
Hey, Keith and Susan. We are so extremely sorry and sad about everything that you guys have been going through, and we just wanted to share a little bit with you about our experience with Noel.
Yeah, hey guys. When we heard the news this weekend, we were just devastated. I can't even imagine how you guys are feeling right now. You provided Noel with a wonderful life, and you adored her.
We love that. First of all, we love that you are so gracious to let us bring Gracie with us to your house, to your home, and that just shows us how much you love animals and dogs and care. But Noel was always such a good host to Gracie. She was very sweet to her and was always kind when she invaded her space, and it was pleasant and easy. And I know that your loss is really great, and I'm so sorry, and we're sending lots of love and healing wishes for you.
Yeah, a great point. Noel was always really gracious to Gracie, and we loved that about her. Can't imagine how you're feeling right now. I hope that all the wonderful memories of all the wonderful walks that you've taken with Noel over the years, and just all the quality time that you've spent with her, I hope that helps you to get through this, through her loss.
Take good care.
Take care, you guys. Hope to see you soon.
Hello, family. Ellen here with my awesome sunburn that I got at your pool today. There was one other memory that I just remembered that I really wanted to share for this video. When Dominic and I's first big fights surrounded Noel, I brought her to an AA meeting, kind of just to get attention, though I would never admit that to Dominic, but he knows. And I brought her there, and there was snacks, AA shitty snacks, Cheez-Its and cookies and stuff. And Noelle just couldn't get her shit together. She was so excited. And I was kind of done with taking care of her social ineptness. So I just kind of let her go and do whatever she wanted in the meeting. And people are trying to share, and she's jumping on them and, doing the Noelle thing. And Dom took her out of the meeting, and I followed behind him, and we got in a big fight in front of the church, the Red Door Church, and Noelle's kind of, doing her thing back and forth. Needless to say, Noelle never came to a meeting with me after that. She was an AA dog for one day, and the excitement of that meeting, she couldn't handle it. And it's just such a testament to how ridiculous she was sometimes. Just thought I'd add that.
I often thought that if there's an afterlife, I'd like to come back as Keith and Susan's dog. What a life.
being surrounded by all that love and comfort and having all my needs met. Noel was a very lucky dog to have such amazing parents, as well as Ellen and Dom, who loved Nugget with all their hearts. When I think about Noel, I hear the sound of her footsteps and enthusiastic bark when we would ring the doorbell arriving at 46 South Street in Burlington after a long car ride. It was like coming home. Noel would welcome us with open arms, paws, and after a vigorous greeting, she would return to her spot on the couch near the fire, drooling with her snaggletooth smile. Since I don't have a dog and love dogs, I got a lot of pleasure from hanging out with Noel. She seemed to like me well enough, but she really loved my brother. In fact, they would make out unabashedly, and Keith didn't seem to care that Noel was licking his face, even though she may recently have snacked on duck poop. If I was to describe Noel in one word, it would be love. She gave lots of love and received lots too. She was a joyful, exuberant presence and part of our family. We love you, Noel, and I hope you're running free in the doggy afterlife. I often thought that if there's an afterlife, I'd like to come back as Keith and Susan's dog. What?
So this is an email that Grandma Linda sent on her reflections on Noel. In spite of our protestations otherwise, Noel enlivened 46 South Street. She was everywhere, bounding to the front door to greet us or anyone who arrived there, running around the backyard in search of who knows what, climbing all over the new couch, and settling down for attention from Keith. When we were in India in November, Susan spent precious shopping time looking for material for Noel's bed. Good memories. And that's it.
What I'll remember about Noel is her long, elastic, jubilant tongue licking gravy off our plates in the dishwasher after Thanksgiving dinner. I'll remember her sweet yet strange compulsion to eat other dog shit. I'll also remember her warm body waking me up in the morning, or her slobbery bad breath, which honestly was better than Uncle Keith waking me up. I miss you, Noel.
Something that I will remember about Noel is how excited she was to see everyone that came through the door and how friendly she was, and she was also the best snuggle buddy. So she will definitely be missed, and she's in doggy heaven right now.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Keith.
Hello, Susan. Hello, Keith. Very much regret to hear about Noel. My recollection is of the dog running me over when I came to visit and pursuing me for all of my leftovers.
And I remember coming to your house each time, and the greetings from Noel made me feel like I was absolutely the most important person in the entire universe, which I adored, and adored her spirit and her love of life and her adventurous, ready for everything attitude, which I wish I had more of. So thank you for bringing Noel into our lives, and know that we are thinking of you and sending you lots of love and big hugs. Bye.
Hi, Keith and Susan. Ellen asked me to do a video about my memories of Noel. I never met Noel, but she did live in my imagination, and my memories come from there, unimpeded by fact. So I think Susan went and adopted her from a shelter, and when she got home to your house, she immediately got her name extended and ecumenicalized to Noel Shabbat Oppenheim. I remember her very favorite thing being running with her human or humans, and she was so happy then except she kind of had to put up with the fact that humans only run on their hind legs and cannot keep up with a dog who runs like the wind. But she compensated for that, running away and coming back, running away and coming back. And I think maybe another really happy time with her, for her, when her sort of Jewish self came out, was living for the evening under the Seder table, like any good Jew, praying and fussing. Her prayers were for sloppy eaters, which I'm sure were answered by at least some of the Oppenheims. And the fussing was a fabulous Jewish doggy buffet of everything that fell on the floor. So those are my memories. Now they're yours. Maybe they're right, maybe not. Bye.
Let's see, we miss our Nugget.
Nugget, Kumbu misses you so much.
Yes. We'd like to thank Nugget for being so welcoming every time Kumbu showed up. I mean, that energetic, beautiful dog did not miss a beat that he had an old man dragging around behind him and totally enveloped him into the house. And we'll miss Nugget a lot.
We love her, we miss her, and wish her happy life in dog heaven, okay? We love you.
P.S. I did not mean to cause gender confusion. I do know that Nugget was female.
This is a story about the day that Noel won the party. As you know, we are a family and we love all the children and animals equally. Sometimes Kumbu comes out on top in the ranking of animals, fairly or unfairly. One day, we were all taking a hike at Mob's farm, and Kumbu was there, Noel was there, and all of the human counterparts were there. And Noel found a way to enjoy the day the most of anyone, human or animal, running through the woods, running into the stream, splashing, doing circles around all of us. Kumbu, meanwhile, was panting and having a small medical emergency. And it was on that day that we realized that everyone has their element, and it is in the woods and playing in water that were Noel's element. And she shone that day and brought the joy for all of us. Love you guys.
Hey, the Oppenheims. I am Tori. I'm Ellen Sponsy. I'm a little sunburned, but I wanted to just say that the two of you opened your home to me for Thanksgiving this past year, and I walked in and I remember Noelle creeped her head up. I believe she was in the living room section beside the dining room, not quite the room on the right when you walk in, but there's a couch space there. With a cousin or y'all's niece who was pregnant, and she looked at me and slowly got up and kind of pranced over to me to say what's up, chickadee. And I think that a dog makes a house a home, and I think the two of you were so gracious in making me feel like an Oppenheim for Thanksgiving evening. And I think Noelle, for me, really solidified that kind of dubbed thee worthy to join the family for the evening feeling. And I'm so sorry for the loss that you two are experiencing, and I only got to meet her for a brief evening, but she was such light and such love, and I feel honored to have gotten to know her, and I feel so honored and blessed to know the two of you. So I'm sending my condolences, a big hug from New York and my sunburned self, and just lots and lots of love. So hang in there, and this too not shall pass, but feel easier in time. It's the best advice I ever received about my mom's passing. So, and a loved one is a loved one. So Noelle was loved. Bye, y'all.
Hi, Keith and Susan. My memory of Noelle is brief but spectacular. The first time I met Noelle was at John and Nancy's. We were there for dinner, and it might have been also the first time that I met you, you guys. And Warren and I were sitting on the couch and, chatting and having some hors d'oeuvres. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this dog comes flying over the couch, over our laps, mind you. And you, either Keith or Susan said, "That's Noel." And I met the spirit of Noel that night. And the last time I saw Noel was a couple weeks ago at your house for dinner, and I think she had been medicated because of lightning, and so she was pretty mellow that night. And I had, the honor of having her underneath the table while I was eating my dinner, so I was able to pet her while I was eating, and it was a very intimate moment. And those are my memories of Noel.
Keith and Susan, so I have two memories to relate of Noel, and one is with Zoe, because the two were this pair of this force of nature, these two large light brown animals standing in front of the door, barking at us and wagging their tails at us as Sharon and I stood at the front waiting to come in, and then they were all over us and friendly and jumping, and they were indeed a force of two. And my most recent and I think my favorite memory of Noel was when we were over at your place for dinner a couple of weeks ago, and we were sitting on the couch and having hors d'oeuvres and just chatting and all. And so I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm having hors d'oeuvres and drinking, and all of a sudden my butt cheek is wet, I thought to myself. And indeed, I felt, and my butt cheek was wet. And Susan saw me react, and she was gracious and apologized and said, "I'm so sorry." That's where Noel sits when she gnaws her legs, and apparently there's a big pool of dog saliva, Noel saliva, on the couch, which is, of course, where I sat. And so I was cool, got up, washed my hands, came back to the couch, and then here comes Noel. So she looked at me, and I leaned forward, and we had a little bit of a nose-to-nose and a discussion, and I said, "No hard feelings." And then she turned around, and she lay on the rug right in front of me. So we had a little bit more one-on-one time there, and that was my favorite memory of Noel.